Hey everybody, Jason here, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a review on my team associated SC10. Now this was originally an SC10 and then it's just been updated and updated and updated. So really it's kind of a hybrid. It's somewhere between an original SC10 and an SC10.2. But like a lot of the factory pros, I run the old front end because I just like it better. But this is an SC10 that has hexes. It has the custom J-Concepts front axles. It has the original front end, the older body mounts. But by and large, they're all pretty much the same thing. Anyways, this is the truck. And this is kind of like Old Faithful for me. You know, currently I race a Kyosho SC6 because it can go mid-motor, rear motor. And more importantly than anything, I just like having one parts container. So that's why I run the SC6. I don't run the SC6 because I think it's 10 times better or faster or anything like that. It's just that it shares parts. So if I break a hub, I have one. I don't have to have 2 or 3 parts cases with me. With that said, here is my team associated SC10. Now this thing is like Old Faithful. The whole reason you're watching this YouTube channel right now is because when I was racing this very truck 3 or 4 years ago, my buddies and we would just videotape each other with like our iPhones just so we could see how the truck looked on the track, and I put them on YouTube so we could all watch them. And here we are today. You know, who knows? It just is what it is. Anyways, this is the truck. I ended up putting some, let me go ahead and do this. So you can see that I love, this is one of my favorite bodies. There's only 2 bodies I really, really dig these days. This is the J-Concepts Ford Raptor SVT. This one is part number 0090. And the other body that I really like is the J-Concepts Illusion High Flow. So let me go ahead and pull the body clips off of this thing real quick and just show you guys what's going on. I actually have not been racing this. It's actually been set up so that my friends can race it. So the truck is actually dialed in. It's got a Savox steering servo, and it's got one of these inexpensive motors and speedos. In fact, it's got a Savox 17.5 in it right now, but it's got the $42 speedo. And basically, whenever my buddies want to drive it, I just tell them, hey, bring a receiver, and we tape a receiver in there, and it's off and running. Right now, it's rocking J-Concepts Dirt Webs, which work really, really well. At my home track, really the 2 tires that work by far the best seem to be Dirt Webs or Ions. And so we have both for this truck. I have Ions and Dirt Webs for this truck. Something else you can probably see is that I've always ran the Lunsford turnbuckles and stuff. I've always really liked the Lunsford stuff. It just works really, really well. And the Super Duty stuff with the gray ball cups, that stuff is just, you're just not going to see one pop off. When I bought this truck long before the SC10.2 came out. So the steering rack that's on this truck is actually an Avid steering rack. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see that because of the lighting, but the Avid steering rack looks pretty cool. It's black and it's got the CNC machined edges. There's really not too much to tell you. So you can see it's got the flat arms on there, and of course it has big bores. And right now it's got pretty much a Ryan Mayfield setup on it. For the most part, back when Mayfield was with Team Associated, it seemed like his setups, or at least his basic setups, I'm sure that's not what he ended up on, were setups that just seemed to be easy to drive for me on similar traction levels or similar surfaces. So that's why that is the way it is. So compared to some of the other short course trucks I've driven, both mid-motor and rear motor, one thing I can tell you about the SC10 is that it jumps really, really well. It has a lot more forward bite than a lot of the other platforms, including my Kyosho SC6. With that said, I pretty much race on medium to high bite surfaces, so I don't necessarily need the forward bite so much. But the one thing that it doesn't seem to do, even in rear motor, because my Kyosho short course truck is set up rear motor right now, it just doesn't seem to carry through and out of the corner as smooth or as fast as the Kyosho does. So the associated truck probably jumps and handles rough track quite a bit better. I would say that it definitely handles some like the rougher jumps. I've noticed it with my Kyosho truck. Sometimes I hit a jump real aggressively and it wants to buck the rear end over, where I never experienced that ever with my SC10. But in general, I just think that it's a very balanced, easy to drive, tunable platform. And what's nice is for the most part, you really don't have to chase the setup on this truck. Put the right tires on for the right track, maybe a spring change and a ball stud washer, and you're going to be pretty close. So let me show you a couple things that you can't see. Let me pop off one of these wheels real quick, specifically the front wheel, because this truck actually has J-Concepts front axles in there, and I really think that's something that's important. On these, this is obviously based on the last generation of Team Associated vehicles, the B4.1 specifically. And that particular vehicle, when they put hexes on it, you could actually end up kind of like mangling the axle itself. So this one actually has, let's see here if you can see there. Yeah, so this one actually has the J Concepts axle. And so this is a machine steel axle, and it actually has a nut on the inside. I don't know if the camera will focus. Hopefully it's focusing so you guys can see. But if you're going to run one of these vehicles, or a B4 or a Centro or anything like that, I would definitely recommend buying the J Concepts axles, just because they're machined so you don't end up destroying the little C-clip that ends up acting as a crush collar inside the vehicle. Yeah, so one other quick tip when you're running this truck is get a good wheel nut. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people with the stock factory nylock wheel nuts. It comes a little bit loose. They spin a hex and basically they ruin the wheel. Now, what you can do is you can take your rear wheels and you can put them on your front, assuming you're running the exact same tires. But if you're running dedicated rear tires and dedicated front tires and you round out a hex, you're going to be bumming because it's not cheap. Basically, you've more or less ruined a $40 set of tires just because a stupid wheel nut came loose. So you can see that I run these all steel serrated wheel nuts. You can get these for like $5. I actually bought a bunch of them. I'm not going to rebuy them, so when I sell what I have, they're gone. But they're like $3 or $4. You can get them over at rawspeedrc.com. Or if you really want to get the fancy ones that the pros run, you can get those, and they're like machined aluminum with these really aggressive serrations in them from J Concepts, and you can get those anywhere. You can get them at any of your local hobby shops, A Main Storm, or any of that stuff. So, but I would definitely not use that stock nylock wheel nut. You will pay the price sooner or later, and it's pretty expensive. So the new truck, the new SC10.2, it actually has new updated body mounts. This is the old body mount you can see, and I've just got the carbon fiber reinforcement piece that you can buy from J Concepts. I always thought the bumpers were just too big on some of these trucks, so I actually just went ahead and took my Dremel and cut it off, and so I just run this little square bumper in the back. It seems like if someone's going to hit you and mangle the body, they're going to do it anyways. And at least if they hit you this way, the body doesn't get smashed up under the bumper and stuck. So, you know, just, I guess, all preference at the end of the day. So there's really not too much to tell you other than the fact that this thing is just a really, really good truck. It's worked really well. The downside, obviously, is that it doesn't go mid-motor. But with that said, here at the 2014 Roar Nationals, competing against all of the newest vehicles, Ryan Mayfield and Ty Tessman both driving TLR 22 2.0 short course trucks, which aren't even released yet. Jared Tebow flying their flagship, the SC6, which is a super awesome truck. Obviously, I've got one of those. Cavalieri still came out victorious. I mean, he's a Roar National champion with a rear motor short course truck. So I don't know what's in store for the future for the short course platform over at Team Associated, but there's no question that this truck is just as competitive today as it was the day they released it. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of this truck. I'm not getting rid of mine anytime soon. I will actually be keeping it around, just mainly because, number one, there's a lot of nostalgia in this truck for me, but also because it's nice to be able to have a spare vehicle for my buddies to run, and we can go out there and, bang fenders and bump and just kind of, rubbings racing. One other thing I want to show you before I cut you loose is this. I actually really like running this Exotech rear hub. I'm pretty sure that's an Exotech, isn't it? Yeah, that's an Exotech rear hub on this truck. And the reason I really like to run it is because it gives me a little bit more adjustability for the roll center on the outside. So obviously you can control your ball stud height inside, but it's nice to be able to do it outside without having to change the whole tower. So you just do it with ball stud washers. So yeah, there's really not too much to tell you. It's just a good platform. It works well. It's inexpensive. You can buy one of these things as a ready to run and upgrade it. You'll spend a little bit more money doing it that way. But even when Associated releases their newest race vehicle, kind of like they've done with the B5, they still sell ready-to-run B4s. So if you buy one of these, I think that you're going to be pretty well insulated from, losing out, or from, you're not going to find yourself in a situation where you can't find parts, because my gut instinct tells me that even if they do release a brand new short course truck based on the B5 platform, they'll still probably sell this one as a ready to run, so you'll be able to get parts for quite some time. So anyways, it's an awesome truck. It's the 2014 Roar National Champion. Super reliable. You can get parts for just about anywhere. And I just thought I'd share it with you. SC10. Yeah, by the way, my boys over there at R17 hooked a brother up with this chassis wrap. This chassis protector is like 3 years old now. You can see I've busted a T-plate and had to cut it out, but the chassis protector remains. So that's about that. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Get out there and do some racing. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, by the way, before you leave, I just want to say thanks again for watching my videos. I only make these videos so that we can have fun together. By the way, you'd be doing me a big favor if you could either comment, like, or even better, subscribe to my channel. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. By the way, I forgot to touch on this, but if you're brand new and you're just getting into short course racing, which I think is a fun form of racing, the driving can get a little bit rough because it's closed wheeled, but nevertheless, it's a great way to learn. A lot of times these trucks, when they roll over, they land in the wheels, so just good stuff. But anyways, if you're getting into short course racing and you're gonna run the SC10, the truck's pretty dang durable, and parts are really cheap for this truck compared to some of the other platforms. But this is one thing you might want to get, the RPM front bumper. I think it's like 17 or 18 bucks, but it takes this truck from durable to really durable when you hit stuff. You're less likely to break chassis and shock towers and all that kind of stuff. So just a